Welcome to how to calculate with matrices using the fx-CG100. In this video, we will demonstrate how to perform addition, scalar multiplication, matrix multiplication, and find matrix determinants and inverses. The methods demonstrated relate to 2x2 matrices for ease of entry, but are equally applicable to other dimensions. To start, we will look at adding these two matrices directly. Press Home and select Calculate by scrolling or using the shortcut. To create a matrix template, press Tools and select M by N. This opens the dimension pop-up. Enter the number of M rows and confirm. Then enter the number of N columns and confirm. Then confirm the dimensions to display the template. We can now enter the matrix elements by scrolling between them in any order. Enter the addition and open a new matrix template using the same method as demonstrated previously. Notice that the 2x2 dimensions are retained. Now enter the elements of the second matrix and execute to calculate. Alternatively, it is possible to perform operations on stored matrices, which is more efficient if several calculations are to be performed using the same matrix. Right tab to the Matrix tab. This displays the 27 stored matrices. Select Matrix A to set the dimensions. Notice that the M by N dimensions have not been retained from earlier. As before, enter the number of rows required and confirm. Then enter the number of columns and confirm. Then confirm the dimensions. The input screen for Matrix A lists the elements by row and column. Enter the individual elements by executing each in turn. And confirm Matrix A to return to the list of stored matrices. Repeat the process to set the M by N dimensions for Matrix B, as they are not retained from the other stored matrices. Now enter the elements as before, executing each in turn, and confirm to store Matrix B. To perform the indirect matrix addition, we need to return to calculation. Switch tabs with left tab. There is more than one way to recall stored matrices. For this calculation, we'll use the matrix command. Press Catalog to display the pop-up, and select Matrix by scrolling or using the shortcut. Then select the matrix command as the first option. To reference a particular stored matrix, use the alpha variables. First press the orange alpha key, followed by A, which labels the x theta t y key. Then add matrix B, using the same method of entering the matrix command from the catalog menu. Enter variable B with the alpha and fraction template keys. Execute to calculate the matrix addition, confirming the same result as before. Scalar multiplication of matrices can also easily be calculated. For this negative multiplication, first enter the negative using Shift and Subtract. Then enter the scalar multiplier using the fraction template. To recall the stored matrix B, we will use the second method. Press the variable key to display a menu of available recalls. Select Matrix to see the stored matrices listed alphabetically as row and column elements. Recall Matrix A and execute to calculate. displaying the standard answer format. We can now use the most recently calculated matrix in a subsequent calculation. First, recall matrix B by pressing Variable and selecting Matrix as before. Then recall the stored matrix. Enter the addition, as we shall be adding the calculated answer. Now press Catalog and select Matrix. Then recall the matrix command. To reference the previously calculated matrix, enter answer with alpha and format. It should be noted though that matrix answer can also be recalled from variable at the bottom of the displayed matrix list. Execute to calculate. Instead of using a calculated matrix answer straight away, the calculation can be stored for later recall. Scroll to the end of the scalar multiplication line. To store the calculation, enter the store arrow by first pressing Shift, and then the x theta t y key. To store as another matrix, press Catalog. Then select Matrix and the matrix command. Then enter the variable c to store the calculation as a new matrix. Execute to recalculate and store the matrix. Then perform a new calculation, adding matrix B and the newly stored matrix C, using either the variable or catalog method to recall the matrices. Perhaps the most useful operation that can be performed is matrix multiplication. Press Variable and select Matrix as before. Then recall matrix B first. Recall the second matrix using Catalog or the same variable method. Select Matrix, then recall matrix A and calculate. Directly entered matrices can also be multiplied without the multiplication symbol. Notice though that the order of multiplication is important. Determinants of matrices can also be found. Press Catalog and select Matrix as before. Now select Determinant to display the template. Enter the matrix in the template using either the variable or catalog method of recall. After variable, select matrix. Then recall matrix A and execute to calculate. As seen previously, directly entered matrices can also be used. Inverses of matrices can also easily be found. First, recall the stored matrix using variable and select matrix as before. Then recall matrix A. To calculate the inverse, press Catalog and matrix as before. Then inverse matrix to display the negative reciprocal notation. Execute to calculate and display the inverse matrix in standard format. Note that inverses of directly entered matrices can also be found. We hope that you have found this video useful. If so, please do check out our other resources on the Casio Education UK website and YouTube.